It's not happening. It's not happening.
Consider me obese?
Oh my God.
If you see me, you consider me obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese, but it's like medically,
So,
you know.
So like for
So
example,
you're medically obese though?
No,
Yes.
I've been medically obese since I was like 12 and I was not obese.
It's kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie. This is a sensitive topic. This is a sensitive topic.
Welcome back to Middle Ground. I'm John. I host the Radical Empathy podcast, and I'll be moderating today's discussion between fit women and fat women. And a friendly reminder, if you are writing a hate comment, you are part of the problem.
Period.
Our first prompt is,
Period.
Your physique is in your control. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Your physique.
She has a question.
I have a question. When you mean physique, can you specify like what exactly are you trying to?
I think physique is like the shape and size of your body.
Welcome to Wonderland.
Alfredo?
Shop Steve Madden.
Might need an ad
All
blocker, bro.
stores now.
Cause like, but some shit,
Why
like
were you hesitant?
certain parts of your body
Because,
you can't.
You know, there's a lot of
change. It's
different
genetic, but
illnesses around.
the size.
So, like, I have family members that have like thyroids and they can't gain weight or they can't lose weight. But I think that they can manage to stay at a place that's gonna be healthy for them. To me, personally, I do feel like I can be at a better place. I'm working on it, and that's my goal. So.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that definitely people have ailments, there's different diseases and all
like
that, but
somebody.
I think at the end of the day, what you can do, the best physical peak for your personal body is in your hands. You may not look like someone you want to look like, your ideal situation, but you can optimize your body to be the highest performance that you think that you can get to.
When I first started working out, I lost 60 pounds, and that included just counting calories. I didn't have to work out as hard. I did the treadmill. I went at an incline, and I just walked the whole time, watching a movie and just walked. I just made healthier choices, and I've been mindful about what I put inside my body.
Very mindful.
Like you put in that effort, right? You made those conscious decisions to walk on the treadmill, count your calories. You were super exact with everything, and that's how both of you guys were able to lose so much weight, right? So your physique is 100% in your control. It's just that nobody wants to put the effort in.
Just so we can invite the disagreeers, that's a great point to bring in our disagreeers. Whoever wants to pick up where we just left off.
So while of course there are aspects that I think you can control about your physique, I think there are more things that are out of your control. Like it is so much more expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like crap. If I go to the grocery
That's true.
store and I just want to buy a bunch of frozen meals, that's
true.
gonna be so much cheaper than me going and buying fresh produce and fresh fruit and everything.
I disagree.
Ooh.
Immediately.
I disagree too.
Why do you disagree?
The prepackaged foods, the frozen ones, way more expensive. I've been on a budget,
Then
you
what-
know, eternally. I always save money by just going to the grocery store and buying ingredients.
I agree with you on that, but I can go get a frozen meal sometimes for $1.50, $2, where if I want to cook a whole meal, like depending on what all the ingredients I'm getting, that could be $10.
So you'll get more.
Yes, but still, you have to think from people who have like no money and they're thinking like, oh, I can get.
I've had no money. I've had $12 for a week's amount of food.
I hear both. I think that you definitely, in the short-term mindset, it is cheaper. You go to a fast food restaurant, they have like a $1 menu. I think they've even increased the $1 menu now. So, which is
$2
crazy.
menu.
It's like a $2 menu. So that's valid. I think
Even if
but
you
I
grew
think
your
it's
own shit.
killing us in the long term. Like it's like that short dopamine effect. The dopamine where you're like, oh, I just need something right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
I also did want to, just touch on other than like food costs, like there's also privilege when it comes to like having time to cook stuff.
Definitely,
Like if you work a
100%,
full-time job, if you have kids and stuff, a lot of the time it's just easier. You don't have the time and energy. Like I enjoy cooking, but it's a lot of work sometimes. And it's much easier for me to just like go through the drive-through. And then also privilege when it comes to like your mental health. When you are depressed, when you're struggling to even like get through the day, it can be really hard to have that motivation to eat well, to move your body and stuff. So for then when people are like, oh, well, why aren't you working out? It's like, dude, I can barely even get out of bed. So like, please stop with that.
I just wanted to say that I didn't step forward because I have PCOS and I just recently got diagnosed with it. So with PCOS, it's so much more difficult for me to lose the weight and control what I want my physique to look like. It's just so much harder. It's not impossible, but it is.
We can fix it.
It's something
and we
that
can
can
fix
be
it.
fixed.
PCOS, we can fix
Sorry
it. So.
to cut y'all off, but Bree, I just wanted to hear from you.
The question, like,
yay.
your body is in your control. I just think it is not 100% in your control. To say it's like black and white, you can change it or you can't, is just crazy. It's just so nuanced. I really appreciated you bringing up the food access that you have, the knowledge access, your socioeconomic status. I go to the gym, I sit there, and I'm like, if only everyone had access and the free time to do this. I'm sure so many other people would love to do that, but people are struggling. They need to pay their rent. They can't just allot that time. They need to prioritize.
eating so much,
and I
you
think
look
that's
like these
ultimately
niggas.
what is really sad.
Yeah.
Everyone would love to take care of
I
themselves.
disagree.
This is my first
I'm
time
sorry,
eating
I disagree.
today.
Like, there's some of us who are on the fit side that don't have
Thank
that
you.
privileges. I wake up at 4 a.m., have a full-time job.
Snaps to you.
I get it done. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I want to be the highest version of myself, the most evolved version, and she has to show
Period.
up.
But your life allows it. Yeah.
No,
Your
I make
lifestyle-
my life
No,
allow it.
exactly.
I
You
surround
do,
myself
but
with
other
that.
people don't have the possibilities that you
They
have.
do. They just
Not
No,
everyone,
no.
no.
And I also think there's
You
something
need
to be
from
said.
Gotta put the effort in. That's it.
But I also think too, like let's say for example, you're a teenager and you're like 500 pounds.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
work that you need to do to remedy that is ungodly. Like that's really challenging. That's a
I
hard
agree.
thing to do for
I
anybody.
agree.
As opposed to like me, I was really skinny and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. I put on my weight. The results are showing. It looks like I'm working super hard. I make these choices like go girl.
Right.
But that is not the same
500 pounds
accessibility
crazy.
that someone can make that change for themselves in different circumstances.
I agree.
So I
My
think
only
that is, like,
caveat is it's hard for both, but it can be done, is my point.
Yeah.
It can always be
Because
done.
it's hard for me as someone who's
It can always be
overweight
done.
trying to lose that weight. In my opinion.
But do you believe that it can be done?
I believe it can be done. I believe
Okay,
it can
so
be
we
done, but I
agree.
think empathy and compassion for the different circumstances that may stop someone from doing that is necessary. To see like, oh, get off your ass and like do all this,
No one said
which you're
that.
not saying, but I'm saying some people, commenters,
Myron's
might be
not in
saying
this
that.
episode.
Myra was the word.
There is a spectrum for your body. Our height isn't under our control. Our
Literally.
fat
Right.
distribution,
Just saying that you can't do it is
bone
cap.
density, our muscle
Anything's
density, our
possible.
metabolism. These are all things that make up who we are. But in that spectrum of health, absolutely, we can change who we
What's the
are
prompt? Yes.
with what we
Is
got.
your physique in your
I'm
control?
gonna stop right there and move on to the next one. Body positivity can promote unhealthy habits. Will the agreeers please step forward?
I think
I agree.
blind body positivity
I
can
agree.
be harmful. If it's just like always like, don't ever consider any possibility that you could change something or improve your quality of life. Just blindly accept yourself. I
Because
think
if
that's
you're
where it can get
like
kind of toxic.
500
I
pounds,
don't look
and
like
you're
how I
screaming
looked when I
body
was 20.
positivity.
So body positivity is
No.
encouraging yourself to accept you're gonna transform eventually. When you're 40, when you're 50, you're gonna get wrinkles, you know,
catfish.
all
What you
these
talking about?
things. So yeah, definitely body positivity should have taken another route instead of just saying it's for bigger people, because it's not. It's for all the variety of people that need to accept you're changing.
Yeah, I think the pendulum has switched to the furthest extreme. I think body positivity was created because there wasn't a space for people who could have acceptance in bigger bodies. And I think it's just gone to the furthest extreme now. And
Like women come in all shapes and sizes, right? And every woman is beautiful. And I think that you should really be confident in your body and the way that you look, you know, wake up feeling your best. But I feel like especially on social media and in society today, this body positivity movement, I've seen like multiple times where there's like obese women promoting body positivity. And it's like, I wouldn't want like my
What's
kid.
obese for you?
You're
It's
sexy,
like,
red, but it's a
like
different
an
person in the
unhealthy
process.
lifestyle,
No,
like
but like, what do you
overweight.
mean
What's
obese?
obese for
Obese,
you?
talking about my
like,
hair?
Like,
for
medically
me,
obese.
if you see me, you
What's her
consider me
range?
obese?
I wouldn't say that you're obese, but
Okay.
it's like medically, you know.
So like for
So
example,
you're medically obese, though?
Yes, I've been
That's
medically
still
obese since
me.
I was like 12, and I was not obese.
Well, does anybody
My
here,
hair's just red.
would anybody here explain what they mean by medically obese? Just-
Exactly.
Like,
At like when you go to the doctor's
Yeah.
office and you get weight on a scale and they'll tell you, oh, you're a little bit overweight, or they'll say you're
My face
morbidly
is the
obese, you're
same.
obese, you're
Because of your
whatever
height.
these things. So like,
Yeah.
like if you look at me, you would be like, oh, she's a little plus size, but I am technically considered obese.
So
by my
I
doctor.
Catfish isn't the word for that, by the way.
I was obese at, I think it's 30 BMI. Now the BMI, we've have come to learn that it's a little bit tricky now.
Right. It's not the most accurate.
The way the
Right.
positivity is
But that's
articulated,
what
yeah.
it's based off.
But
Right.
so correct. But now that when I was a
What?
size 14, I was considered obese.
How sexy
It's smaller than we
looks in your
think.
sexy
I think an
brain.
obese
Are you-
person, and this is not,
you okay?
calling absolutely anybody obese, but I think a person that can be considered obese would not be able to
I don't even know
go
what he's
on
trying to
walks,
say.
they
He's not
will
even
lose
speaking
their
English.
breath, they were, for me, because I am a person that I'm big, but I'm, like I said, I'm still able to go on hikes and I won't lose my breath. I can go on runs, I can exercise. So if for the
you're-
doctors I'm obese because of the
Yes.
size and the stuff that I
Yes.
am, for the doctors,
Yes.
for me, it is not the way that it works because an obese person, I've had friends who are skinnier than me. We go on walks and they're losing their breath.
So for you, obesity is just the,
breath?
The fact-
health parameter of how physical you can be. For you.
Exactly.
It's not
Oh.
a physical manifestation
Exactly.
of the body.
What the doctor, when that doctor says that bad word, it's he's looking on a chart versus saying you
But how many
can't-
people have
but he's
been
saying-
bad
But listen,
diagnosed?
he's not saying you're ill and you can't walk up that hill.
I've
you,
had
you
doctors
go,
say that to
you
me.
go, I
That's
have
the
that.
thing. I've
that's,
had doctors
I'm
say that
obese
to
and I
me.
can still walk
So-
up that hill. And that's what's fabulous about it, right? It doesn't automatically mean you're ill, but also down the road, absolutely it's going to mean you're ill. You're lucky with your genetics currently. Down the road, it's not going to be the same
But
story.
this is the thing, you think they're genetics, but since I was really young, I'm active. I'm an active woman.
I never said you're not active.
No, I know, but I'm just responding to what you're
Okay.
saying. I know you're not saying that I'm not active. I'm responding to what you're saying about the doctors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I have had doctors tell me that.
Tell you what?
That I'm obese and that I
Yes.
cannot exercise, that why am I not exercising, why am I not doing the effort. There's doctors that have bad diagnosed me for things that I've never had. And I've gotten medicated for things that I've never had. So it's like,
Right. Well,
it's
that's-
everybody, it's different.
They're killing us too. So.
Just we went down a tangent
Yeah.
from it. I want to.
Oh my God, you can
We're
say
talking
that.
about.
Oh my God.
We're talking about
They
body
forgot about her?
positivity, whether
Yes.
we think it promotes unhealthy habits. We're going to bring in our disagreeer.
Oh my God.
And then continue the conversation.
I don't know if I finished this video.
So I didn't step forward because I really hate the toxicity that has come from people being like, oh, body positivity promotes obesity and blah, blah, blah. I hate that so much. I think there is like the minutest people who are doing that, the vast, vast majority. I
But it's
do
just
not
saying,
think
can
promote
it?
obesity. Body
That's all the
positivity
question is.
to me is just loving your body, accepting your body how it is, and not
People
hating
don't be-
yourself. Like you shouldn't have to
Listening
wake
and
up
reading is
every day
fundamental.
because you're 400 pounds and hate yourself.
The reason I made it is
like,
crazy.
You know, I don't
He
think
was calling me a
anybody
catfish
should
or
be hating
something.
themselves.
I don't
So
know
that
what he
to
was
me is
saying.
what body positivity is about, and it's also about equality in how people are treated. Like for example, Lizzo gets called out so much on like, oh my God, she's out there with her ass and stuff. Like, it's so disgusting. But Chapel Roan, who, God, I love Chapel Roan, was at Gumball and came out as Statue of Liberty and had her ass out. Did not see a single person online saying, so why does she have her ass out? You know, it's like, it's a double standard. People inherently hate fat bodies and don't think they should be seen in
I
society.
actually disagree with that because I do see people hating on Chapel Rowan for the way that she looks and her outfits, and
What are we
there's
talking
going
about?
to be hate on both
Oh,
sides.
of course, there's going
That
to be
is
hate,
going
but
to be there.
I meant like the volume of hate that Lizzo gets compared to Chapel Roan. Like I would say, like it's much smaller. Like I just you constantly hear about like Lizzo, and you know.
I have a question. I have a question
Yeah.
about Lizzo. Okay,
Always comes back to Lizzo.
One of the okay.
She's like waiting.
Who's Chapel? Bro, I keep hearing about Chapel Roan. I don't even know who that
One of the
is.
few times I saw her streaming, she had this gorgeous cake was gifted to her, enormous. Went in with it with a fork and was eating constantly and talking to the camera while she was streaming. The volume of the cake that she ate, I just went, oh my God, how many people are watching this? It was a horrible representation. I hated every moment of it. What do you have to say about that?
Well, my question would be, if there was a thin person doing that, would you have had that same
Yes.
reaction?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think it's more about, like, she's not promoting obesity by eating cake on camera. She's just, eating cake
But
on
if
camera.
she's a representation of body positivity and she's behaving this way, is that promoting
Have
a
you
negative
noticed
light?
that she just posted a video that she lost weight? Like
No,
that
no,
was,
absolutely don't.
Yeah.
I
She just
absolutely
posted a
not.
video
I
and she
absolutely
lost
did not.
weight. You can see the difference.
Because I don't want her in my algorithm.
So it was just probably that one day that you saw her
Damn.
doing that, but that doesn't identify her as a whole person.
Yeah, in defense of Lizzo, not a sentence I want to read. In defense of her, I have seen her post like, oh, here's a green smoothie that I got, or here's me with my salad, or like, here I am at the gym. I think there is this
People need
weird
to stop
stigma where
idolizing
people
fucking
that are overweight have to be
celebrities. That's what
perfect all the
motherfuckers really
time.
need
They
to
can
do.
never just like, just have a cake. And I agree, it's gorging. I agree, it's not great. Listen, I'm not saying that's great. It's not great. But I'm saying that like this one instance
Industry
of her
plant.
doing this amidst all her other ones of her trying to be healthy.
Can I go on the opposite side of that? Like with Lizzo, there's like Eugenia Clooney. She's a very
Yes.
petite, tiny
Eugenia.
woman. Why are people saying, "Oh, good job, Lizzo.
Lizzo?
Good job for eating healthier"? But like when Eugenia Clooney's like trying to eat something, like
But is Eugenia Cooney allowed
Oh,
to have
I was like,
hashtag
who?
body positivity?
she does sometimes. So
Is she?
she promotes herself literally wearing like tiny
Because we're-
outfits, showing her body.
That was my whole point. Is like these extremes are hijacking it.
Yeah,
I agree.
think,
They're not
like,
good representation.
Yeah,
No.
That like the algorithm, they will push out the most extreme cases because they get the most views, and
Right.
it's what people want to see.
Yes, it's dangerous.
Including these conversations. Although this was pretty reasonable. All right, let's reset.
No matter who
read.
you are, there's
Where
no
do you think you
denying that
follow?
injuries can really put a damper on your everyday life. Like seriously,
This is an ad.
being injured when I'm trying to hit a new PR. If you ever find yourself, Morgan specializes
How
in
you
a
doing?
wide range of personal injury cases.
Chat, I can't. Should I just finish the video actually? Fuck it. I'm gonna just finish it. Because I actually don't think I have to do too much. I don't think I have to do too much, bro.
I have taken.
Add into
a
ad,
weight
that is
loss
kinda
drug.
crazy.
Will the agreeers please step forward?
I should put my retainer on. Wait, I've taken a weight loss drug?
Everybody's perfect.
Oh.
I'm like trying to see like what do we define as drug?
Just
I think we're talking about the
Like
weight-
Ozempic?
Pills
Yeah,
or-
weight.
Ozempic?
Well, any
Like diet pills.
drug that you've taken.
Yeah, wait, I'll-
Sorry. But
Literally
come on in,
anything.
let's hear your story too.
I have used weight loss drugs before I knew the power of them in college and
Crack Loki
you
a weight
get them
loss
over
drug,
the counter,
for
but they
sure.
were incredibly strong. Probably needed to be controlled at that time, but I was just so obsessed with my body size. I've pretty much my whole life, and that's just the culture, American culture that I was raised in and lived in, and so I would try drastic means, and I've done things that would just get you super wired. Even as an adult, once I figured out how to eat, I gained the weight back during the lockdown, like a lot of people did, and I go, gosh darn, I was so upset, and
Lockdown fucked
I took
everybody
a prescription weight loss
Not
drug
me,
that
though,
I got was
but-
prescribed by a doctor, and I was able to drop the weight quickly. I used it as a biohack. I used it short
It was a
term
different time,
just to
bro.
get the
A lot
weight
of
off
shit was going
because
on.
once the weight is off, now it's on you. You have to know how
so
to
this
eat.
is more recently.
Yep, and this is absolutely recent.
Was
too.
it like Ozempic, something like that?
Phentermine. You can get it prescribed. It's a controlled substance. It's hardcore, but it takes the thought process out of your mind. That thing, that monster that always tells you you're gonna get your next serotonin kick by that food, and you're hyper focused on eating, and it takes that monster, it stops talking. So now when the monster stops talking, you go, I can control this. I can make changes in my lifestyle in order to make healthier decisions
I fell off, why?
to keep the weight off that I just lost with this drug, and yeah.
I was so desperate to lose weight. I was like on TikTok scrolling through, and like they were sharing like, oh, this drug does this and this that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just blindly buy this thing, and showed up at
Do
a
you know
horrible
kind of
time
what
for
kind
me.
of drug it was?
It was a pill that I took, and it like suppressed my want to eat food. But it also like had some really bad
So
side
starving
effects.
yourself.
Like when
Like
I
what?
would eat, I would feel sick after, and I realized like, oh, I'm feeling horrible all the time and having this energy low and like just feeling physically
ain't healthy.
sick.
How long were you on it?
I was on it
Off
for
TikTok Shop?
2
Bro, I hope
months
not.
maybe.
Did you lose weight?
Buying a weight loss drug
I
off
lost
TikTok
some
Shop
weight,
is
but as soon
fucking
as I
crazy.
got off of it, I gained all of that weight back.
You
I
have to,
gained
you
it
have to know what to
all
do
back.
once you're there.
Exactly.
What are you gonna do?
Exactly. It was like the crutch, and like you just relied on it so much, and then once it was gone, you had to do your own thing, and
Hi, Belches.
you had to figure it out. And the pill was doing all that for you, and then for me, I gained more weight than I lost when I was on it.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
Well, it's not really
So
a
I've heavily considered taking Ozempic, but I've decided not
What's
to
going on here?
because
It's
you
fit
either
versus
have
fat
to stay
women.
on that drug long term to keep those effects,
Talking
or
about
if you
is
get
being
off
fat
of
a
it,
choice.
most people are going to gain the weight back. So I'm no longer interested in anything that is not a complete lifestyle change. Like for me, I have learned over the years that I would prefer to be fat and happy than thin and miserable. So like right now, I'm just trying to, eat less processed food, stay away from like sodas and stuff for the most part. But I will never count calories, like, or because to me that leads to disordered eating habits.
For you?
For me
For her,
personally,
okay.
yes. I'm not talking for everybody.
Okay.
I'm not talking for everybody, but for me personally, and I do think for a lot of people, it can lead to disordered eating.
Kind of circling back to the topic about taking
Her tats are
weight loss
crazy.
drugs. Hell no, I would never take no weight loss drug. I worked really hard
You
for
don't
my
need
body,
to, girl.
and I'm like a very big believer in that phrase. Like, if you wanted to, you could. Wouldn't you be so much happier if you lost the weight and you look back on it and it was like, yeah, like I did that.
Exactly.
Like that was 100% all me. I didn't need no help. I didn't need no cheat codes. Like, this was the work that I put in, and I got the results that I wanted.
And that was the mindset
think
that
would
I
you be
wish
safe in
that I
apocalypse?
had before I took the drugs.
Yeah.
Because like I was super naive. I was like 18 years old,
Right.
and I had no knowledge about anything. And
I ain't gonna
was
lie,
looking
in
for a
any
quick fix 'cause all these people were telling
post-apocalyptic
me,
movies,
oh,
you
you
don't
need
see
to
no
lose
fat
weight, you need to
people.
do this, and that was in my own household. So
I'll
it was
be
my
honest.
family telling
Right.
me this,
And
along with my friends and everything like that.
It's a
why that
lifestyle
is.
change, ultimately. These are tools that you can utilize, but if you are not changing your lifestyle to go with it, then what will happen for
Right.
And so I think that's really ultimately what it is. If you're not ready to
100%.
commit to the lifestyle change, using these tools is not going to help you.
When people do these quote unquote shortcuts, a lot of the time, like mentally, they're not there. So they lose the weight and then they're still like,
Not fixing the problem.
exactly. It was this quick fix, and now that it's, they get off it, like everything mentally, like that they were at when they were at a bigger weight is still there because
Like-
they didn't put in that mental work, like doing it on their own.
For example,
we gotta reset. So the next one. I'm getting the signal. Fit women are more
Oh my God.
attractive than fat women. Will the agreeers
Beauty
please
is
step
subjective.
forward?
Beauty is subjective. Beauty is subjective.
I would definitely agree. Fit women are more attractive than like plus size women. Only because me having this body, it shows that I can commit to something, right? And it shows that I'm hardworking. So I feel like men looking at my body can see, oh, okay, she's dedicated. She put in the work, and that could be an attractive quality that men see in me. I would definitely go for like
Touchy-touchy.
a more muscular guy. So that kind of shows that we
Touchy-touchy.
have something in common, something that we can work on together.
So gym dates.
Yeah, gym dates for sure.
All right, thank you. Can we bring in the disagreeers?
I feel like I'm gonna get flamed alive right now. It's all good.
I'm bisexual, so I
Hey,
love
girl, me
women.
too.
I love women.
Yes, all the bisexuals.
I think that all women are beautiful. I've had relationship with women that are fit, that are not fit, variety. And I can tell you that personality-wise, the skinniest ones and the most beautiful ones have had a personality that I cannot work with. Me, personally, me. So,
Yeah.
and it comes from a place that the way that I grew up, the way that they grew up, thoughts, minds, you surround yourself with people that you like, that is like you. Your personality has more beauty than the way that you look.
Your physical looks will disappear. My grandma, she used to be a very petite, tiny woman, grew up in the Philippines. My grandpa the
'Cause,
same
like,
way.
what?
Now they're a
Looks
little
is
bigger,
not everything.
they're more
Everybody knows
comfortable.
this.
50 years later, still in love.
yeah.
My grandpa always makes jokes. Like, when I remember growing up, he was like, this is Burger King and this is McDonald's. I'm the king and I'm loving it. And I'm like, that's my grandpa. He showed me, like, you can appreciate a woman through all the changes, like.
Exactly.
And that's why I love, like, once I get skinny, like, My boyfriend can still love me, but maybe he loves me more because how I am personally.
I think people like to be like, oh, it's always going to be the fit woman is more attractive than the plus size woman. I just don't think that's true. Like, there's a lot of beautiful fit women. There's also a lot of not very beautiful ones.
Right.
You know what I mean? To assume that size will always equal more attractive, I just think is like silly.
There could be an ugly skinny bitch.
The more unhealthy side.
Well, you can be thin and not healthy.
Yeah, ugly skinny bitch, bro.
But the biggest issue I have with what you said, I disagree with you. I think as a fit girl as well, fit girlies, I still disagree with you because there's beautiful women who are in bigger bodies. Like, I feel like it's an arrogance almost to be like, oh, because I'm fit, I'm more attractive. Like that's, it's ridiculous. And the biggest issue I have was what you said about men being attracted to you more just because you're fit. I think that that's basing your worth on a man. And I'm married, as a married woman saying that, I just don't understand what that has to do with the principle of just physical attractiveness. It has nothing to do with if someone else deems you as attractive. It's like just solely based on the physical. So I 100% disagree with you.
I was debating actually stepping forward because of just what society has taught me my whole life is like, thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful, thin is more beautiful. And I've really had to work on unlearning that, like for so many years. When I was like, 19, 20, I was like, oh, the reason I'm not in a relationship is because I'm fat. Like I need to lose weight and then I'll become in a relationship, then someone will love me. And I thought that for so many years. And like my self-confidence was like down here. And I really had to work on
beauty is
unlearning
subjective,
that.
bro.
And I'm still trying to unlearn that.
Everybody likes what they like.
Like I have learned over the years that
skinny
people are
girls.
attracted to different things. So if you ask one
of people
person,
like
they're going to
BBWs.
tell you, oh, this is what I'm attracted to. And if you ask someone else, they might have a completely different answer. So I think attractiveness is subjective. I think when it comes to society 100% says skinnier is better.
I mean, I hear a lot of what you're saying, but I'm curious, anybody want to share, like, what is the type of body that you're attracted to?
To men, on men, other, or
Well,
the
I don't know.
opposite.
There's people who are attracted to men and women. So whether it's men or women, what kind of bodies are you attracted to?
Because I've been smaller and bigger. I am tall. I already am eliminating a majority of people because I'm one taller man than me. But you know what? Somebody on your show, Zach Miko,
Was that the tall guy?
it was a model.
Oh, yeah.
The plus size model? He was
Yes.
very cute.
So
unfortunately married.
So it's like I
Sorry,
have
Zach.
dated some fantastically gorgeous men, but when I feel most comfortable and myself and I can feel just kind of let it all out is a guy that's a little
got some
has some
Chinese food that
cushion.
eats.
Gym people for gym people. And, and that kind of seems like unattainable, not my vibe.
No, I appreciate the specificity. If anyone else wanted.
So I do have a type, but also like I've never dated before.
Y'all
so
have a type, chat?
I'd say like my type goes from I like my type goes from like Prince Eric to Fluffy. Yes, the comedian Fluffy. I just feel like I could like hug him. Like he would give the best hugs and be like the best person.
It's a very
Like-
wide range.
Yeah, a very wide range of
A lot of them fit into
a lot
that
of
range.
infinites to that. But like I don't discriminate against like body type or anything like that.
It's funny because for me as a bisexual woman, like what I like in women versus what I like in men is like very different. So men, I'm very much like you. Like dad bods are kind of like what I'm
I don't
the most
know how this
attracted
has
to.
to
I don't
do
want
with
someone like super big, but I also don't like
being
super
fat-
skinny
fat
or
is
like
choice.
super buff. Like you have a little muscle, that's fine, but like the really buff guys, like
That
not my
isn't
thing.
bougie looking women.
But for women, I like way more different kinds of women, like thin, big, like I don't know. I'm just way more attracted, I think, when it comes to different kinds of women. Like when I'm swiping on dating apps, like I'll maybe swipe on like 1 in every 20 men, and like women, it's like 1 in 5. Women, I just think overall are much more beautiful than men.
Women
like,
are beautiful.
And we have better profiles. Let's get this.
Yes, that too.
All right, let's
Depends
reset.
on the question. What's your question? Do you
It's
guys see
okay for
yourself
models
dating
to
or
set a
marrying
high
someone
standard
out
for
your
body
race?
image. Will the agreeers please step forward?
Oh,
I don't.
Nothing works on this acne.
Hi. Who? I'm a licensed dermatology provider from.
If it happens, but I don't.
I did some modeling as a kid.
I can't really
and
picture
as a
it.
teenager, and even now as an adult, I did pinup. There's definitely like a high
I
expectation
ain't gonna lie, they're
standard,
yapping.
especially like in runway modeling and things like that, because they push out these clothing and they only do it in certain sizes. There's standards that different companies have that they want to push out certain things. So like for pinups, they want you to look a certain way, they want you to do your makeup a certain way, they want you to dress a certain way for that style. And same thing for like Victoria's Secret, they want to promote lingerie, and there's a standard for each company, and they have to live up to that standard based on what they're trying to promote.
And personally for me, I always looked up to thin people. I always found them very beautiful. I was like, I want to be able to look like a Victoria's Secret model one day. It's okay to have a higher standard of beauty because it makes you want like, oh, I want to work harder on myself to achieve that type of body goal. I might not look exactly like them, like with the hips and everything, but I want to be able to look a healthy version of myself that looks something like that.
I think it's okay for models to have a higher standard of beauty because we are attracted to attractive things. A model is selling something. They're being hired to sell something, and they're going to make it, hey, look at this. Look at the dress I'm wearing. And you as a consumer, you don't want to look at somebody that is going to go, ugh, I don't even want to look at that person. What they're selling, I don't know.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
Except what are they so like, I don't know, it's crazy.
I completely disagree. I think we all forgot what modeling industry has done for
What
women
about a
in our society. I think we kind of went blank for a second. I'm a journalism major. I have my degree in journalism, and growing up with certain magazines, and those women, just because they were thin does not mean they were healthy. Have y'all ever seen America's Next Top Model?
Yes.
There's a lot of detrimental things that were happening within that society, within that community. And I agree with you. Yes, we all want to look at something aesthetically pleasing, but that varies.
I realize I don't really have
known
much
for not
else
being
to
diverse.
do. Right.
Hello. So I don't know. We just like blacked out for a second.
Diverse now. It was not when I started.
Yeah, but it's not that diverse now either. It's evolving, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's that diverse. But I think that it can be very detrimental as a young woman. I think the body positivity movement kind of was created in juxtaposition because of the modeling industry of the 90s and early 2000s, how toxic that was.
I do think we have come a long way, but we still have like much further to go. The average size of the woman in the United States is a size 16. So why are we not seeing that reflected more on runways and modeling and stuff? You know, I also have issues with it when it comes to a lot of plus size modeling too, because a lot of plus size models, they have the curves, but they have no belly. And that's so unrealistic for most plus size women, where it's like, most plus size women, if you are a size 20 like I am, you're gonna have a stomach. And
most of those photos have been photoshopped.
Yeah, or they even put padding on smaller models to make them look bigger.
The standards keep changing. How many models do they need to show all the different body types that for this to sell one dress?
Sounds like there's a tension between the market. If the data says more people click on this body, even if it's unrealistic, put that body in the ad.
Yes.
But what you're saying is that's unfair representation of the true customer.
Yeah, exactly, because then I'll like buy something that I saw on a plus size model who has a flat stomach, and then I put it on, and I'm like, oh, I hate this because it's clinging to like all the wrong parts. I just want to see something that it doesn't have to look exactly like me.
But I think for a long time people thought that diversity in sizes wasn't marketable. Like I can't make money from showing all this diversity of sizes, but I think that there are new brands coming like Savage X Fenty with Rihanna.
Like somebody,
she has proven
and I don't know
you can have diverse bodies and you can still market and sell. And let's be real, most consumers are not the models. They look different.
Women should be fit enough to protect themselves. Will the agreeers step forward?
This is something that I always say. Listen, no shame to people that are thinner, but I just think you're so vulnerable when you're thin. Like if you're petite and you're frail and you're not strong enough to fight back, I don't think that's safe for you. I'm a proponent of like building muscle. That way you're sturdy. That way if someone tries to come up on me, they're going to feel something.
I think we shouldn't have to. Yes. Like it sucks that we're in a society that we do, but we have to.
Yes. You're prone to danger at any moment. Hell yeah. Know some punches, know some locks. I don't know, but yeah, definitely stay prepared.
Yeah. As someone who trains kickboxing, boxing, and Muay Thai, at our facility, like we do offer like women's self-defense classes, and like no matter like what body size you are, I highly recommend every single woman to take at least one class just so you know the basics and just like for your own protection.
Well, I got attacked by a dog once when I was on a walk. Oh my God. I came out of this house and it came after me, and I was with a group of friends. Of course, it comes after the big one, don't get me wrong. But it was scary. I couldn't run away from that problem, but my friends were able to. And that came to my mind, like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at cardio. I know what I need to prove more on. You need to be able to carry yourself, pull yourself up, or run.
Even for your kids, an emergency, your kid is swallowing something and it got stuck, or everything around you needs your full potential energy. So yeah, definitely everybody work on their own pace and just make sure that you work on things that are going to help you and stay safe because it's dangerous.
Not to be an easy target.
Aside from dogs, which, has anyone ever been in a situation where they've had to defend themselves?
I can talk about it because it doesn't hurt anymore, but when I was young, I did get molested, and it's fine, I'm over it. I know it wasn't my fault. See, I work with my brain a lot, so for me, I was laying down, and it was more of a
Hop on, Valor.
situation where I couldn't move because of what everything was that was happening around me, and my thoughts were just like, I need to find a way to survive. I need to find a way to push this person from me, and I was 13, so it was like, you know what? Pray. because there was a cousin sleeping next to me, and I was like, please have her move so I can move. And she did. And as soon as she moved, I found a way to just push him. Like, I found the courage to push him off. It came from, I don't know where, but it came. And whatever happened after that. So it is a situation where, as women, we are subject to not just men, but to a lot of people, and where we need to find a way to protect ourselves, and not just us, as we're growing older. Like, we should be showing our children how to and who not to trust, instead of judging them, instead of expecting from them. You should be teaching them to find their way and what works for them, to find the courage to save themselves from whatever is going to be a struggle for them in the future.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that story.
I have abused my body.
Oh my
Will
God.
the agreeer step forward?
Personally, for me,
haven't played
I
Valorant
always
2 days.
suffered with anxiety and depression since I was young. I haven't grown up in the best areas. I used to
That feels weird.
self-harm in different ways. I suffered with like purging and
Someone chose
everything,
it's
and
a
like,
timeout.
actual like physically
I don't
cutting
think it
myself.
was
Sometimes
trolling.
I
I
even
think you
tempted
just
to
weren't
like
making
burn
sense.
myself. When I look in the mirror, I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And I was 13, 12, and around this time, I do not
It
like
just
the way I
wasn't
look.
making
I'm not
sense,
happy
friend.
right now, and like the only thing I have control of, because I don't have money, I can control what I can do to myself.
as Baby
it wasn't
White
until like
type,
I got
I don't
older
know
and I
fully.
started studying mental health. I started studying like different like ways you can take care of yourself with the resources I had. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not the best at my mind right now, and there's other opportunities I can control those bad thoughts. To let them out.
What were some of the tools that were most helpful to you?
Meditation really was a big thing for me. I loved meditating.
Also,
Whenever I had
my
those,
mods know I don't
call
like
it like
disrespect.
noise, like those just thoughts in my
If
head.
it
like
came off
just
like
talk,
you was
talk,
disrespecting
talk,
me,
and I'm like,
that's probably
close
why.
your eyes, inhale, exhale, and just breathe. Just find your center and calm yourself. That's really helped me a lot.
Addiction is the disease that tells your brain that the problem is the solution. My biggest addiction was food, and and you get a serotonin kick. Everybody has a vice because that's something cheap and fast. At some point, you're not a victim anymore.
like
You're actually
arguing
doing it
with
to
someone
yourself.
that kisses the wrong-
This
Well, that's
lifestyle,
like a
this and
debate
up and
type
down,
thing.
and how I even abused myself, how I used to talk to myself, and you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough.
That's why those
you're never
political
enough.
debates, though, I
Until
can't watch
I changed the
those.
way
I
I spoke to
can't.
myself. Did changes ever
I
happen?
can't watch
and
that
me
shit.
too.
Abuse my body a lot by being an emotional eater. Like I'm a very emotional person. Actually, I just found out last year that I have BPD. Ever since I was a teenager, I have struggled heavily with depression and suicidal thoughts, like all the time. Yeah, I have abused my body over the years, and I'm trying to love myself more, take better care of
Do it.
myself.
Don't try. Just do it.
Well, you
Until-
say that, but it can be hard.
Make it easy. Make it easy. Make it easy to speak to yourself in a kind way.
Yeah.
I just got upset because you don't want to be on this. You're a gift. How dare you?
Not how dare you.
That beautiful gift away. How dare you? You're not allowed to do that anymore. Okay? You're here. You have to speak to yourself kindly. Be nice to yourself. Your family members, how would they tell somebody else that's speaking to you that way to you? And you do it to yourself. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You can change it. Make a choice.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better over the years. That I'm much kinder to myself.
You
and
don't
I
even
wish I
think
could like tell
about
my
like the
younger self
consequence
to like be kinder.
of
But you
doing
can tell
that
her,
shit,
tell
bro.
her right
Like-
now.
Oh,
You
I
can
do,
tell that
yeah.
baby right now. She's good enough and she's meant to be here.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to give you a hug because I relate to your story so much.
This is brain division.
I was an emotional eater too. I still am an emotional eater. I'm working on it so much.
That's a
but
device.
like when I was getting bullied in middle school, like I was getting called fat and all these things, and I was literally getting notes handed to me saying that I was like a fat whale. It really messed me up, and it made me attempt suicide a few times. And I was 12 years old, and it wasn't until after
12?
I attempted and my family
How
found
short
out, 'cause
is
now I don't think
too
that way anymore.
short
That's why I'm
in
such
a guy?
a huge like advocate for mental
Shorter
health
than
and
me.
just like love yourself. You have to
Shorter
love
than me.
yourself in order to change things
Nobody's
that you
too
want to
short.
change.
Luke, I know you haven't spoke, but can I bring in with this?
Spectrum abre cada día una puerta a posibilidades sin límites. Con Spectrum, tus juegos te transportan a otro universo. Y con las
12 is
velocidades de
crazy.
internet más
How tall are
confiables,
you?
haz
5 feet.
streaming estés donde estés.
5 feet tall. Oh my god. What is with these ads today? Leave me alone.
For the people who came in that disagrees with this prompt, what have been the most
So yeah, if a
valuable
guy's
tools or
shorter than
resources
me,
in your
that's a
life to
problem.
not abuse your body?
I think of like the highest version of myself, and I try to show up as her every single day. When I have dark thoughts or when things are hard,
I do
I'm
like tall guys,
The
though.
highest version of Alyssa, like she's a baddie, she's disciplined, she loves herself, and I kind of show up as her.
I 100%
like
agree
tall
with
guys.
that. I'm a very big believer in like if you say things out loud and manifest
I
them,
prefer
then they will come
muscles.
true. Because eventually you do end up getting like that mentality switch, right? Like
Mhm.
if you wake up and the first thing that you say to yourself, like in the mirror, is like I'm ugly. You know, that's what you're gonna go about your entire day believing. You know, but maybe like writing something down, like having it like on the mirror and stuff, and starting every morning like smiling and with like positivity, then you'll carry that energy like through the entire day, the entire week, the entire month, and eventually like your entire life.
If you have a network of people that if you're feeling any kind of emotion or going through anything, having that kind of community to help you figure out how you can go about this without doing some detrimental harm to yourself, I think it's really amazing. And again, a privilege that I was able to have that. If nothing else, I hope anyone watching this can really see and empathize and like, you can't just look at someone and be like, oh, they're this and that, or they're lazy, or they don't work hard enough. Like, I think this conversation has just been so illuminating for me, and I hope it's illuminating for everybody.
For me, also, just adding to like what helped me get out of the depression that I had was I sat down and I cried. I would cry in my room and acknowledge the things I needed to change, even though it was going to cost me.
as long as
and I
he's
had supporters
taller
like
than
my
me, I don't
family. My
care.
sister's my biggest supporter.
He could be
with my heart.
5'1".
And you really need to work on yourself. Make a better choice.
Every
Change your
day.
body if
Oh
it's
my God.
necessary, if you can, but be healthy because we're not getting any better. This world is just going to get harder.
Facts.
So we need to be healthy and prepared for whatever we need to do.
Facts.
You know, so yeah, work out safely and
Love
you know,
yourself,
everybody, we
chat.
hope you're healthy for like the longest time because man.
I definitely agree with like letting out a good cry because I was an emotional
I
eater.
cried a lot.
I was such an emotional eater. Like I held all of my emotions in, and what I would do is I would eat instead of letting that emotion out and recognizing the emotion. And it wasn't until like I let out that cry, I reached out to the people.
Yeah, you
and
reach out for help.
You reach out to the people that you trust and you feel the safest with. And I did that. That I started to realize like, oh, I need to change this. It isn't healthy to go to the food instead of going to the people. You got to go to your people.
I agree with that.
The day
She
after
might
my mom passed, I
be
just came back.
native or
Literally, I took a plane back to California to be with my family while she was in her coma.
Preppy.
That day, I was just like, you know what? My mom's gone. I want to be gone.
Oh
you know,
my
and
God.
the only person I really trust and love and care for and adore is my grandma. She is my rock. And I remember looking at her like, we got home. I'm like, Grandma, I'm done. This is it. And she told me, and this is the only thing that keeps me going till this day is the moment you're gone, I lost you. I lose your mom. I have no one. And reaching out to my grandma and telling her like, I'm ready to just end it. It made me realize like, if I keep hurting myself, I'm not just hurting myself, I'm hurting the people who love me the most. Making sure like, you know, when you're going through your hard spot, just know like,
I
you're
ate
not alone in
Alfredo.
that. There's people around you who
What'd
do
you
truly
eat?
love you and they want you to reach out to them and tell them like what's going on with you. So I always recommend that. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
What she said, don't ever apologize.
Ever, especially as a woman. Stop apologizing.
I love that.
Thank you
Bro,
all so much
women
for
do
the vulnerability
apologize a lot.
and for sharing
I
your opinions
apologize
in
a
the
lot.
discussion. Thank you guys for watching Middle
I'm a
Ground.
kid.
Subscribe, watch more Middle Ground,
Okay.
listen to Radical
So you have time to
Empathy,
grow, is
and
what you're
leave
saying.
a positive or thoughtful comment because these folks are human. All right, thanks all.
Thank you.
I'm glad nobody
Oh,
like
fantastic.
argued. I'm glad nobody argued. I'm glad they just spoke like classy ladies. Only apologize if it's something to apologize for. Facts. Like I feel like women apologize when they shouldn't apologize. Like it's just too much sometimes. Anyways, that was a nice video though. I think, you know, you control your destiny, you control your life, you know what I'm saying? And you should do whatever makes you happy, but obviously don't put your life in danger, okay? Don't put yourself at risk, and being overly overweight is putting yourself at risk, you know what I'm saying? So that's my only thoughts and opinions, and what they were saying about, like, you know, just being able to protect yourself in like dangerous situations. If you are not fit enough to get out or handle yourself, that's not a good thing, you know what I'm saying? And your safety always wants to come first. And yeah, it's very, very good right there.